Hello everybody, Zelfie here, and today I am gonna go over some tournament replays. Now, this isn't like a normal Smogon tournament, I guess, but it's actually a tournament for the Poketube Discord server. It's mainly just a server for a bunch of smaller Pokemon creators that get together and work together and stuff like that. I figured since I'm uploading more often, I might as well try to involve myself more in this community. I think it'd be helpful for me, and I might meet some nice people along the way. They have this tournament, which I think they host a tournament like monthly, and this was for the new Tundra meta. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. I can make content on that. I thought it'd be a good thing overall. So I signed up, and we're right here, and we're done with our round 1 matches. So I went ahead and I brought this team. It's SD Rock Scarchum, Boots Tornadus, Power Herb Neolego with Meteor Beam, Default Kitty, Scarfrachi, and then Bulk Up URSHIFU. Now, I don't remember where I stole this team from, but I remember really liking the team because I thought SD Garchomp was going to be pretty strong this meta. Sure, there's a lot of faster threats and such, but I just thought the overall power from Earthquakes and Stone Edges would be really, really good. And I felt like that some steel types were being decentralized or some of the steel, the steel flying types are being decentralized right now with such high usage of Regieleki and some other stuff around too. So I thought it'd be a good meta pick as well. And I also just like a lot of these mods. I think Neolego's a really fun mod, and I never got to use URSHIFU in Crown Tundra meta because I was busy playing UU and such. And so I figured this would be a good time to use it, and this mod's just fucking broken, as we're probably going to see. As for my opponent's team, they got Spectrier, Toxapex, Ziggy, Heatran, Kartana, and Zapdos. I noticed this team can lose a lot of momentum easily, and so I just need ways to break some of his overall pivots so I can start sweeping with URSHIFU. I feel like URSHIFU has a really good time against his team. If we look at everything, sure, if I'm going to take some chip damage eventually from probably Zapdos, Ziggy, Kartana, and such, but if I can get rid of Kartana, I think my URSHIFU just 100% wins off of Bulk Up. So that's sort of my game plan here. And so, I'm going to pause right here and move this to normal. So I leave Rachi because I didn't really know what he was going to lead with. I didn't see any good leads on his team. There's no pivots here. So he just leads Heatran. I'm like, you know what, that makes sense. He's probably going to go for rocks, as he does right here. And I don't really risk the burn. Here, he swaps out. I believe I go for Sword Stance because I'm like, okay, this is a free swap in, and I can pretty much hit anything that I want after this, right? I don't think Spectre was going to OHKO me because Garchomp is pretty bulky. Kartana, won't take a hit, and everything else is going to fucking get obliterated by Sword Stance. So I go ahead and take this chance of Sword Stance here, as he goes for Leaf Blade. And like I said, I'm really happy to take this trade because it means better things for my URSHIFU down the line. So, I go ahead and take the trade, easy peasy. Now he's forcing the Spectre here. I'm like, you know what, I can go ahead and save this mod because this mod's still pretty scary, and I still have the opportunity to get rocks up. So I go into Tornadus, which is pretty strong. Learned that he's some type of Hex Will-O-Wisp set, so that's good for me. And I'm just gonna go ahead and go for Knockoff. Knockoff is pretty good on pretty much all of his mods, especially Pex and Heatran, because it removes the recovery. Toxapex is still gonna recover against me through Regenerator, but this is fine. He tries to go for Toxapex, so I'm like, okay, this is a perfect time to go for Neolego. I think he'll just try to set T-Specs again, as he does. And this is where I charge up my Power Beam and get my Power Boost. I deal a significant margin to this. He opts to go into Heatran. I'm like, okay, well, I can get a powerful move right here, because at this point, the Lego could almost sweep too. The biggest threat to it was Kartana, and now Kartana's dead, so I'm in a really good position. But what I do need is, because I'm not running Power Gem, I need another boost, for sure. So I go ahead and launch up the second Power Meteor Beam. I'm sure this will handle literally anything that wants to come in right here. Bar the Zygarde, but I didn't think Zygarde was swapping in either way. So I go for the Meteor Beam. I'm like, oh shit, this is a good swap in. And I missed the 90%, which sucks, but oh well, it happens. Now I'm just like, I don't want anything getting poisoned, especially since my URSHIFU can't really be status, or afford to be status. So I just go into Fitty, and I click Defog here. He goes into Zapdos, whatever. Now, yeah. I'm just in a pretty good position overall. I clicked Moonblast because I felt like Zapdos would have to swap out anyways. Didn't really want to stay in. He can choose to discharge me, but I don't think he'd gain much from that. He lose tempo, gets a Zapdos. I can go Rachi as well. He just like wasn't in the best position to stay with Zapdos, I think. So he goes into Spectre and I crit with the Moonblast, which is really good for me. Might threaten him to swap out again, as he goes right into Pex, which is fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna throw out a Taunt, so it can't do any of that mean stuff to me. And it goes for Scald. Oh no, swaps out, sorry. Zapdos comes in, I'm like, whatever, I'll just remove inside him. Heavy duty boots, gone. Discharge, whatever. I can take pretty much any hit just because of Regenerator, and this mod's so dumb. So I go to Chomper now. He goes for Heat Wave, but still not enough. I think I opt to go for Sword Stance here, right? Yeah, I go for Sword Stance. I'm like, you know what? I'll just Sword Stance again. And I get unpunished as he goes for Heat Wave and misses. Now I go for Stone Edge. It's like, oh, cool, crit. It didn't matter in the end, but like, whatever. I'm gonna click Earthquake because he just can't swap into Zapdos or he dies anyways, so EQ is safe. Goes back into Spectre, I swap out into Urshifu. I'm like, this is a good chance to go into Urshifu. Fortunately, my Urshifu gets burned, but as we start to see, that doesn't matter, because this mod's so weakened, this mod's pretty weakened, and this mod's pretty weakened. So I could just start saying that Bulk Ups. Spectre can't touch me, I know that. And one Bulk Up should be enough to beat everything, really. I can't even get paralyzed behind substitutes now, which is honestly pretty good for me. I don't 2KO this, but he goes for sub, which ends up costing him a lot. He may be able to get off like another T arrows here, but like it really doesn't matter in the end. So I just go for Wicked Blow again. He just like loses all of his mons out. There's nothing else that he can do here. Everything's weakened to the point that everything's gonna die to Wicked Blow or Sucker Punch. You go to Spectre. I think he could have maybe tried to outplay Sucker Punch with Will-O-Wisp. Maybe gotten a bit lucky. But I think I literally clicked Sucker Punch like 7 times or like 8 times in a row and hope he chokes because I don't need that PP for anything. Yeah, he goes to Zapdos and I'm faster. 2 KO, but it's fine. He kills me with Discharge. It's whatever at this point, right? I just go into Rachi, click Ice Punch and kill everything. So he lost a lot of mods out of that exchange, and one Bulk Up went a really far distance even when I was burned. It just shows the power of Black Glass's Wicked Blow. Now we're on to game 2. He swaps up his team, which is understandable. I think his team had a lot of weaknesses to Neolego and Urshifu once the Kartana is gone. So swapping the team is a good pick here. He has his own Chomper, Magearna, Pheromosa, Heatran, Pex, and Zapdos. So he has the same like trifecta core over here that he had in the first game. Wait, hold, just let me reset. So like he had the Pex, Heatran, Zapdos core over here as well. He swapped Ziggy for Chomper, Broken Fastmon, and Pheromosa, and then Magearna is, I guess, replacing Kartana. So it's structurally a pretty similar team. Of course, the rules are a bit different, and the Heatran can also be a different set too. But like, overall, I don't think too much has changed from here. I still want to get rid of Pheromosa, because once Pheromosa is gone, and... oh, sorry, when Pheromosa and Magearna are gone, then my Urshifu can clean with just Wicked Blow. Even then, I'd still have to be afraid of the Guard Chomp and whatever, so it's still a really scary team. Here, I just like Rachi again because I'm basic. I'm like going to U-turn. I think this is a good opportunity for me to scout if Pheromosa was Scarf or not, because that would have given me good good foresight in the future to outplay Scarf or you know, all that stuff. But he decides to swap out, so I don't really know, but something tells me that he wouldn't stay in if he knew I was Scarf Rachi, which he did from the last game. I U-turn, I go straight into Chomper, and I'm not messing around with this. Magearna is one of the most scariest mons in the game, in my opinion, so I just go ahead and go for EQ. Fortunately, this is Balloon Trend, so it's whatever. I go into Infinity because I'm like, oh, you can probably just Rocks here, and that'd be bad for me. So I go into Infinity just so I can defog afterwards. Throw up the Scald, then pop the Balloon. Balloon does not get popped, so Toxapex comes out, I taunt it. He goes for Knockoff instead this time. Which is good. I don't have leftovers on this build, it's just HDB, so still a bit unfortunate, because I'm going to take Rocks damage from whenever he gets those up, but also not that unfortunate overall, as long as I just never let him have hazards. I go to Neolego here because I'm like, okay, this is probably the best chance I'm ever going to get this Meteor Beam. As I Meteor Beam the Magearna, I'm like, oh, this is good, because even though I'm training my Neolego right now, I don't think Neolego had a great matchup between the yeah, between the Heat Train, the Garchomp, the Megarda, and the Pheromosa, what does Mon actually ever do to him? So I'm really happy to take the trades here. Weakens Megarda by a lot. And I go for T-Bolt again. I could have tried out playing the Garchomp, but I didn't think it was necessary. I was just going to click T-Bolt. That's fine. He's immune. I'll go for Cross Knot, get my remaining damage. That was a critical hit too, which I don't remember if it matters or not, but, you know, still details to have. I go into Rachi, I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw the Ice Punch. But, I U-turn anyways, because there's no way he was staying in. I go into my own Chomper now. I believe I set rocks here. And the reason I do that is because I'm like, okay, his team's very crippled right now, and especially the Chomper and the Megarda being low, everything else is gonna take some impact from rocks, right? So I figured it was good enough. Unfortunately, my Chomper gets burned, just the way of the Scald, I guess. And I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll just set Sword Sands here. Not much else he can do against me besides knock off my item. I believe I go for a second Sword Sands too, so I can actually be threatening. As he goes into Zapdos here, I'm like, no, you're not gonna fucking defog on me. I go for Stone Edge, but unfortunately I miss, and he hits me with the Heat Wave, which just sucks. He could have defogged there, but whatever. And then he goes in Chomper, it's like, okay, well, I Stone Edge this, I don't kill it. I'll just go for Earthquake. I'm like in a dominant enough position where I don't need to outplay the swap in, so I just go for the Earthquake. I didn't want to lose Chomper there. I'll lose some momentum off of that. I go into Fetty off of the Ice Beam. I'm like, okay, maybe if he's some type of lock set, I'll swap out. But he reveals to not be locked into any move at all, and I just go for the U-turn. That's sweet. Oh wait, I think I'm dumb, because did he take rocks damage? Because I don't think he took rocks damage. So he's HCB. Got it. I didn't actually pay attention to that until now. Okay, well, I'm just dumb. Here, I go for Ice Punch because I don't really know what else to do in this position. I've kind of lost a lot of my offensive powerhouses, and now I'm just like really relying on my third like backup sweeper URSHIFU to clean here. He goes for Heat Wave, which is fine. I'm like, I'll just trade this because I think I can still handle Pheromosa, even if it's Boots Pheromosa, like gaining speed. Like that doesn't threaten me as much as something else. So I go for Ice Punch. I get the freeze here. That's so good for me. I just continue to click Ice Punch here, and I remove the balloon. It doesn't matter because Chomper is dead. But yeah, now I take the opportunity to swap out Methity. I'm like, okay, you get your rocks up. Nah. And then here, I think I just click Scald. Yeah, I'm just gonna get some damage on this while I can. Earth Power, I can't swap out, so it's whatever. I die anyways. And then here, I go into URSHIFU. I'm like, okay, maybe there's a chance I win here. He goes into Zapdos on the Sucker Punch. I tried to kill the Heat Train, by the way, because I believe it could have been faster. I don't remember the reasoning why. I go for Bulk Up. I'm like, oh, are you really just gonna let me stay in here and Bulk Up? That's fine. He goes into Pheromosa, and Pheromosa is weak AF. Like, Pheromosa is smoke on. I want to look at its stats real quick. Hold on. Like, look at these defenses. These are so bad, and URSHIFU is so strong. So of course, I KO him. And I think that, like, wraps up the game here, because there's something else he could have done. Wicked Blow, 100% crits, and kills him. And then Megarda, this is also gonna die, too, Wicked Blow. I could have, like, CC'd just to be safe, but I figured it didn't matter. Here, I go for Wicked Blow. I don't know why I clicked Sucker Punch the first time, but, you know, it ended up, like, winning me the game. Because I didn't kill the Zapdos there. Holy shit. Damn. But yeah, that was my tournament match. I feel like I could have played a bit better. And I think I got kind of lucky. I don't remember my reasoning for going for Sucker Punch there. I think it was just in case if I was slower. I don't remember. I have to look at my spread and whatever. But I will be posting more replays from this tournament in the future when more rounds go on, of course. And yeah, links in the description to Flame Horizon YouTube. It might have it uploaded on his channel too, and the Poketube Discord as well. And